Taylor Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, isn't just another release on the calendar, it's a cultural moment in making. By the time the clock struck 12:13 on August 12th, the world already knew this was going to be one of the most dissected, theorized, and celebrated pop rollouts of the decade. Swift doesn't just drop albums, she engineers events. And this event is wrapped in sequins. In her 19-year career, each era has carried its own identity down to the finest detail. But this time, the aesthetic is sharper, louder, and more confident. The orange and mint branding alone feels like a statement, bright, bold, and instantly recognizable. Every fan knows that Taylor doesn't choose colors at random. They are codes, emotional markers for the music we're about to hear. Just as Reputation's black and white grit warned us of its defiant edge, and Folklore's muted sepia hinted at quiet introspection, this new palette screams spectacle, celebration, and unapologetic visibility. The title, The Life of a Showgirl, suggests more than just a glamorous stage persona. It's an invitation into a story of someone who lives her life in the public eye, performing night after night, feeding off the roar of the crowd while hiding the toll it takes. For Swift, who has spent nearly 2 decades as one of the most watched women in the world, the metaphor is painfully accurate. Yet there's a twist. She isn't just telling us about the cost of the spotlight, she's reclaiming it. She's saying, yes, this is my life, and I choose to make it a show worth watching. Industry insiders have been quick to note the production names linked to the album. If the whispers are correct, Max Martin and Shellback are back in the fold, the team behind some of Swift's biggest pop juggernauts. Their return could mean a sonic pivot from the stripped-down, indie folk leanings of Folklore and Evermore and the literate, poetic sprawl of the Tortured Poets department toward a punchier, more dance-ready sound. Imagine crisp beats, lush synths, and hooks that grab you in the first 10 seconds, the kind of songs that make you feel like you're striding down your own personal runway. Then there's the rumored Sabrina Carpenter collaboration, which has already set fan circles ablaze. The two have toured together, shared stages, and traded public words of admiration. A duet on this record wouldn't just be a moment for their friendship, it would be a statement about generational pop synergy. Taylor, the seasoned superstar, joining forces with Sabrina, one of the brightest rising lights, could create a song that bridges eras while delivering pure pop theater. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of The Life of a Showgirl is how it might blend autobiography with theatrical fiction. Swift has long blurred the lines between truth and character, writing songs that feel deeply personal but are staged within grand narratives. Here, the showgirl could be an alter ego, a larger-than-life version of herself who can say things, feel things, and confess things in ways the real Taylor might not. In past albums, we've seen her slip into the roles of heartbroken narrator, vengeful ex, and whimsical storyteller. Now, she might become the lead in her own glitzy, high-drama musical, with each track as a different act. Fans are already imagining what those acts might be. The hopeful beginnings, the grueling work, the thrill of fame, the sting of betrayal, the quiet moments behind the curtain, and finally, the triumphant encore. If Swift follows her usual pattern, the tracklist itself will be a map, each title a clue to the story's progression. And knowing her, she'll leave just enough ambiguity to fuel endless debates. Another reason this album is so anticipated? Timing. We're living in an era where live performance has reclaimed its dominance. Tours are bigger, bolder, and more theatrical than ever. Swift's own Eras tour has shattered records worldwide, proving that audiences are hungry for more than just a setlist. They want an experience. The Life of a Showgirl could very well be the conceptual foundation for her next touring chapter, one that blends the intimacy of storytelling with the jaw-dropping spectacle of a Vegas residency or a Broadway show. Already, the marketing machine is in overdrive. The moment the pre-order links went live, fans reported crashes on multiple store sites. Limited edition vinyl in orange and mints sold out within hours. Social media has been awash with unboxing videos, close-up photos of the merch's hidden messages, and theories about symbols printed on the album inserts. Swift knows her audience, and she knows that every little detail, from the font on the lyric booklet to the shade of glitter on a postcard, will be analyzed like ancient scripture. And yet, even with all this hype, the most exciting part is that we still know so little about the music itself. Will there be upbeat anthems that become instant radio staples? Will there be heartbreaking ballads tucked among the sparkle? Will she experiment with jazz or cabaret elements to match the showgirl theme? Or will she flip expectations entirely and give us something no one saw coming? One thing is certain: the life of a showgirl is not a quiet record. It's an era designed to be seen and heard. It's a statement that Taylor Swift, after years of evolving, surviving, and reinventing, is stepping into a new role with complete creative control. And if history is any guide, this album will not only dominate charts, but it will also shape the cultural conversation for months, if not years, to come. Taylor Swift's music has always been personal, even when it's wrapped in fictional storytelling. With the life of a showgirl, that personal core is still there. It's just wearing a brighter costume. Fans have long known that Taylor uses her albums to process what she's been through, sometimes in coded ways. In her early career, the stories were direct and literal. As she matured, the metaphors became richer, the characters more elaborate. This time, the showgirl might not just be Taylor the performer, but a mirror for every woman who's had to put on a brave face while the world watched. The showgirl is a paradox. She's in control and yet constantly judged, adored yet dissected. She's the center of attention, but often the loneliest person in the room. For Taylor, that duality is familiar territory. Every move she makes is scrutinized, every performance evaluated, every relationship picked apart. But in this era, she's leaning into it, owning it, and reframing it as part of the spectacle. If the last album was about retreating inward, this one is about stepping forward with a deliberate strut. We can expect the lyrical content to explore themes of resilience, performance, and self-definition. There may be songs about the rush of applause, the seductive power of being adored, and the danger of losing yourself in the role you play for others. There could also be moments of vulnerability, a ballad about the quiet after the curtain falls, or a reflection on the people who only see the costume and never the person underneath. Swift's gift has always been turning the specific into the universal, so even if the showgirl is her alter ego, listeners will find pieces of themselves in her journey.